Welcome again to another edition of Pronghorn Productions TV. This is part one in a two-part series of calling and decoying whitetails. And in this first part, you're going to see a couple of calling tactics that I've used on hunts, and then you'll also see the decoy in action. Some of the calls I'm going to be using are the Primos Can, great for doe bleats, and the Hunter Specialty True Talker 2, which is great for grunts. You'll also see me employ a tactic called the snort wheeze, and to do this I just use my natural voice, and it goes something like this. What that is an aggressive call to a buck that tells him, hey, I see you, you're getting too close to my territory, or you're honing in on my doe, I want to fight. And you'll see how that plays into calling big bucks and little bucks also. But stick around and we're going to show you some exciting action. This first hunt you're going to see is from 2006, and you're going to see some good calling tactics in action.
It's the morning of November the 4th, Saturday morning. I'm hunting a stand that I hung about a week ago. Actually, I moved it. This is the fourth time I moved it in this area trying to get on the deer. You know, I think it's a really good spot for bucks to cruise through. Hopefully it'll happen this morning. You know, I'm hoping that I can get at least some good video of a shooter. Ultimately, I'd like to be able to kill him on film, but stick around. Hopefully it'll happen this morning.
Shortly after I did the interview, I noticed this young buck bird dog in a trail. There must have been a hot doe that had gone through there. As you can see, he's got his nose to the ground. What I attempted to do was get his attention with the doe bleat, and as you can see, it did get him to stop, and he looked. And I'm thinking, well, he might come in. However, that scent on that trail and the fact that he didn't see that doe kept him going nose to the ground, checking for this doe that laid down that scent trail. I bleed at him again, it gets him to stop, but again he's back with his nose to the ground, trailing up this doe. I bleed at him one more time, stops him, but again he continues on. So I have my grunt tube. I think, well, if a doe's not going to bring him in, maybe a grunt from a buck will bring him in. I grunt at him a couple times. He doesn't hear the first ones. But finally he hears one, stops and looks, but again he's back to scent checking this trail. So finally, as a last resort, I snort wheeze at him. And now, once he hears a snort wheeze, I wheeze at him again, and you can just see his whole posture change. He goes from bird dogging that trail to bristling his hair up, comes stiff-legged, comes right in. There you can see how he changed his posture and laid his ears back a little bit. And now he's coming. Now here you'll see how he's posturing. He's got his ears back. You can see his hair bristling up. He's still checking for scent from that doe, but he's also working his way into that buck that just challenged him with that snort wheeze call. Here you can really tell he's got his ears laid back. Hair is all bristled. He's posturing. Now he stops and he looks. He's like, well, I don't see the deer that just challenged me. Where's this deer at? I did not have a decoy out. I was just calling at this point. Had I had the decoy out, I think he'd have been a little less cautious. But yet he still comes in. He's at about 30 yards right here. And he's looking. Still always looking. He's not posturing so much anymore. Now he's curious as to where that deer is, because it's pretty open right here. He should see the deer that just called to him. Now the gig is up. He just caught my scent, and off he goes. This segment of Pronghorn Productions TV was brought to you by Town & Country Insurance Services. Serving Wisconsin for over 30 years, Town & Country is large enough to insure you, yet small enough to know you. Stealth Outdoors, originator of the Bark Silencer, now featuring the Roscobi Riser Cam.
Fixed mounts are a distraction, and rigging a camera on your bow can be complicated. The new Roscobi Riser Cam captures all of the hunt from your point of view without any extra help or gear to fumble with when your moment of truth is at hand. Back at home, you can share your experience with family and friends for a lifetime of memories. Roscobi Riser Cam. We got your shot.
Now only from Stealth Outdoors, when you purchase an 09 Roscobi Riser Cam at the lowest price possible, receive a free Bark Silencer along with free shipping. That's www.stealthoutdoors.com. It's the perfect way to commemorate your achievement. Whether in the woods or on the water, a custom field portrait from what'dyaget.com captures that unforgettable moment. Simply give us your photo and have it transformed into a variety of unique trophy displays customized with your information. Visit us online today at www.what'dyaget.com to learn more.
The Bark Silencer from Stealth Outdoor keeps you quiet before the shot. Bobby Boucher, what do you think about the Bark Silencer?
My mama say noise is the devil, so she bought me the Bark Silencer from Stealth Outdoors. Now there's no more noise. I sit all day long against that cypress tree waiting for the gator to come by, and he no more hear me. The Bark Silencer, I love it, and I love my mama too.
Get your Bark Silencer at stealthoutdoors.com.
Pronghorn Productions, capturing your once-in-a-lifetime memories.
Whether it's turkey hunting in the Wisconsin woods or fishing the wilds of our country's beautiful lakes and rivers, have us capture those moments on tape and edit them into a wonderful keepsake DVD for you to share these once-in-a-lifetime events with friends and family. Have a special hunting or fishing trip planned? Consider us for capturing your event to keep those memories alive for a lifetime. Pronghorn Productions offers professional videography and editing services for all of your outdoor needs.
So, for the best video and editing, call my dad at 438-7250.
Or visit our website at www.pronghornproductions.net.
This segment of Pronghorn Productions TV is brought to you by Muzzy Broadheads. Bad to the bone, Muzzy is #1 in broadheads. Now the gig is up. He just caught my scent, and off he goes.
I was wondering how long it was going to take him before he caught my wind. Definitely gave me enough time if I wanted to kill him. I could have. He just wasn't a shooter. It's a good sign. He was trailing up a doe. He had his nose to the ground the whole way up through here. Looked like he'd been running for a while. He was all worked up. Came into the call. That snort wheeze. You find the right buck to do that, they'll come in. I mean, he took the long way around, but he was trying to get downwind to me the whole time. That was fun. Hopefully the next one will be bigger.
Sure enough, what do you suppose followed this hot doe in? A nice big shooter 10-point. If you listen close, you'll hear him snort wheeze. Now, because I was self-videoing, I had to turn the camera back into my shooting lane. Now you'll see the doe just cleared my shooting lane. Off from the left, here comes the buck. Now here's the heartbreaker. He would not stop in my first shooting lane. He stopped just short of the second lane, and as you can see, I tried to sneak it around that limb and it did not work.
I got what I wished for this morning. I got some video of a shooter chasing a doe. And I even had a shot opportunity. And I hit a tree. I tried stopping him. He went through some trees. And he hit an opening. I tried stopping him in the first opening. He wouldn't stop. He stopped just short of the second one. And I thought I could sneak one around that tree. And I hit the tree and went out around. I think it went out around the deer about foot and a half in front of him. That's why they call it hunting. It was fun though. It was a really nice buck.
Now, as that hunt demonstrates, you can use calling to your advantage and work quite well. However, I must say that I only use calling techniques like this at certain times of the year, and that's during the pre-rut when bucks are chasing does and seeking out hot does. And the reason I only use calling at that time is this. If you're using calling in early season and you're calling as aggressively as I was, you're most likely going to have that deer pick you off in the tree before he presents a shot opportunity. And I'll only use these calling techniques if a buck is coming out of range and I don't believe he's going to come into my shooting range. I'm just trying to coax him into my range. Once that deer looks in my general area, I'm not going to call anymore. If he starts coming my way, I'm going to not call anymore either, because all it's going to do for you is present an opportunity for that buck to pick you off in the tree and go the other way.
Now let's take a look at a calling sequence that didn't work out quite as I had planned it to. So right here I'm busted. As you can see, he's got me picked off in the tree. We had this standoff for over a minute till he had finally had enough.
Nice 2.5-year-old buck. You'll be an awesome buck next year. That was a really nice 2.5-year-old buck. Super 2.5-year-old. I just got in the stand like 5 minutes ago. It's November the 3rd, I believe, today. And, November the 4th, excuse me. And it's about 10 to 10 right now. I got couldn't see him anymore. And so I bleeded on the can probably quite a few times, probably a lot more than I should have. And he came around on the upwind side, but I don't think he really heard me. He was trailing a doe. He had his nose to the ground bird dogging. And I don't think he heard me till he was about 40 yards away here on that trail. And then he turned and came right down to the tree. Well, he was facing the tree head on. And as you saw, he flat out busted me.
So now that we've seen some calling in action, let's get to some decoying in action. This hunt is from last year, 2007, and it was set up on the edge of a biologic food plot. It proves to be an exciting hunt with the flambeau ready doe.
Now, as you can see, when I set up a doe decoy, I like to have her facing quartering away from me, upwind at about 20 to 25 yards.
Well, good afternoon, folks. It's Saturday, November 10th, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As you can see, I'm trying out the flambeau ready doe decoy this afternoon. And I actually already had 3 visitors to it before I got the camera set up. It was a doe and 2 fawns. And the doe didn't like her too much, so they got to about 30 yards. Got deer chasing over here in the woods. I think there's probably a hot doe or a doe getting ready over in the woods over here about 100 yards away.
This segment of Pronghorn Productions TV was brought to you by Blind Ambition Bail Blinds, a new innovative twist on ground blind hunting.
The box silencer from Stealth Outdoor keeps you quiet before the shot. Bobby Boucher, what do you think about the box silencer?
My mama say noise is the devil. So she bought me the box silencer from Stealth Outdoors. Now there's no more noise. I sit all day long against that cypress tree waiting for the gator to come by, and he no more hear me. The box silencer, I love it. And I love my mama too.
Get your bark silencer at stealthoutdoors.com.
Pronghorn Productions, capturing your once-in-a-lifetime memories.
Whether it's turkey hunting in the Wisconsin woods or fishing the wilds of our country's beautiful lakes and rivers, have us capture those moments on tape and edit them into a wonderful keepsake DVD for you to share these once-in-a-lifetime events with friends and family. Have a special hunting or fishing trip planned? Consider us for capturing your event to keep those memories alive for a lifetime. Pronghorn Productions offers professional videography and editing services for all of your outdoor needs.
So, for the best video and editing, call my dad at 438-7250.
Or visit our website at www.pronghornproductions.net.
Stealth Outdoors, originator of the bark silencer, now featuring the Roscoby Riser Cam.
Fixed mounts are a distraction, and rigging a camera on your bow can be complicated. The new Roscoby Riser Cam captures all of the hunt from your point of view without any extra help or gear to fumble with when your moment of truth is at hand. Back at home, you can share your experience with family and friends for a lifetime of memories. Roscoby Riser Cam. We got your shot.
Now only from Stealth Outdoors, when you purchase an 09 Roscoby Riser Cam at the lowest price possible, receive a free bark silencer along with free shipping. That's www.stealthoutdoors.com. This segment of Pronghorn Productions TV is brought to you by AMS Bow fishing products for serious sportsmen. The first buck of the day is a little 1.5-year-old, looks about a 6 to 8 point, really small. He crosses over the biologic, and what steps out but a pretty decent buck. Let's see if we can't get him to come in and have a closer look at him. Now that noise you're hearing in the background is me rattling up against the tree with one hand. I've got the rattle bag hidden behind me because this buck could see me if I was to pull it out in front and rattle with it normally. So I'm just using one hand and banging it up against a tree. It definitely gets his attention. And curiosity gets the better of him, and he eventually commits. Now, he just saw the decoy right now. And notice how his posture changes now. He's going to bristle up and start posturing because he knows there's got to be another buck in the area if this doe is this close. Now you can really see him posturing here. He's got his ears laid back, his hair is all bristled up, he's walking stiff-legged. He's going to walk right up to the back of this doe. And had I had scent on this doe, I think it would have kept him in the area longer, but I think it spooked him a little bit that there was no scent on this deer. He was expecting to smell a hot doe, some estrus scent, and now he's backing away. Now you can see this buck definitely gave me opportunities to shoot. I had opportunities here on a severe quartering away shot, but I've also got a couple of shot opportunities coming up on a broadside shot. He was the right age structure. He just did not have what I was looking for antler-wise. I'm hoping the following years he's going to put more mass and more tine length into his antlers, more main beam length. His main beams are short. His tines are fairly short. He does have decent mass, but nothing to write home about. So I'm giving him a couple more years to grow. But this is a very interesting example of how that doe decoy can really bring in mature bucks. It's also pretty cool to watch the characteristics of how the deer interact with this decoy. You can tell he's a 3.5-year-old by his body structure. If you look now, he's deep chested and then tapers back to the waist. Now, even though I had the wind at my advantage, I was getting some thermal swirl here, and that's what he just caught. He caught a whiff of my scent from that thermal swirl, and off he goes. But you know, he's not really terribly alarmed. He stops, gives it one more look. That doe decoy just really pulls these deer back. They want it to be a real deer. Now, the last visitor of the afternoon was this buck that I nicknamed Whitey for the white stripe that he has down his face. He was feeding in that other biologic food plot, and after I challenged him a couple times, he finally decides, yeah, I'm going to go check that out. But you'll see his posture is a lot different than the crab claw 8-point that had come in earlier in the day. Now Whitey was pretty cautious coming in. Also indicated either young deer or not dominant buck. As you saw the crab claw 8-point come in, he blew up and he postured. He was coming in to kick some butt. Whitey here is just sneaking in, hoping maybe he'll steal a doe away from the buck that was challenging him, but he isn't in the mood to fight. He just wants to take that doe away. Now he closed the distance to about 30 yards from the tree, and I easily could have shot him had I wanted to. But again, this is a young deer. Good genetics. He's wide. He's not real heavy yet. Not real long tine length, but he does have pretty long main beams. I'm hoping in a year or two he's going to explode into a world-class 8 or 10 point. Here's a good shot of his body, and you can see how his rump is a lot bigger than his chest. That's a good way to age a deer on the hoof.
Well, hopefully those calling and decoy tactics help you out in the future. I know I've learned a lot over the past few years using calling and decoying, when to call and when not to call. Obviously, as you saw, that buck busted me in the tree. I called too much to him, and that's one of the things you have to really watch when you're calling to whitetails and any animal is do not overcall to them, because they will bust you and pick you off in the tree. Unfortunately, we're all out of time for this week's show. Tune in next week when we're going to have another exciting episode for you. But until next week, take a youngster in the outdoors, pass on our hunting and fishing traditions to the next generation. I'm Chris Kittleson. It's snowing. I'm going hunting. You could make it faces. That's probably the blooper for this week.